Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Joe. Welcome back to another episode of Zfighterperformance Garage. On today's build, we are diving back into our Blue Datsun 240z CP Vintage race car build. Last episode, we finished up the stone texture paint in our engine bay as well as inner fender wells. On today's episode, we're going to be diving into the interior, pulling out everything that's not needed for the race car, and we're going to go ahead and sand, prime, and throw down the stone texture, hopefully get the matte clear on as well, and try and go forward from there. What's up, bud?
What's going on?
Not a lot. What you doing over here?
I'm gonna take this stuff out of the box here and I'm gonna put it right over here so we can vacuum, and I can do one thing, you can do the other, see if we can get that broken bolt out, and then see if we can get the other one out and go from there.
Let's do it. We're taking the, I guess, leather part of the car that's glued to several panels on the inner part. We did find what looks to be a wedding ring. Hopefully who owned this car prior didn't get in too big of trouble for losing this thing. What's even more weird is it's my size. It's not my wedding ring. But yeah. Anyways, let's continue. How we're going to patch it shortly, but we are going to take a trip up to the auto parts store and get some supplies so that way we can patch those holes over there, sand, and then go ahead and try and get the rest of this interior painted. So we just wrapped up with spraying the textured stone paint, all except for this area. We're gonna do a little bit of patching, priming, and then spraying some more stone texture to it. We were able to spray the entire firewall, pretty good even coverage. The trans tunnel all the way back to the rear, right before the trays. Went ahead, got that all done. Still got to fix a little bit of rust right there, prime it, and then shoot it. But definitely looking pretty good so far. Kind of what's going on here. When we cleaned and started sanding, we did get some rot holes all the way through and just some rust. Floors they're not moving. There's just kind of some top rust with a couple of holes that went all the way through. You know, that's what you get with a 70s model car. These are notorious for rust. So normally what we would do is cut out above where the rot would be and replace this panel, or we would come all the way down and replace the entire front panel. However, like we've been saying, this is a DIY project that you would do at, you know, in your driveway or in your garage. And so we kind of were looking and going, well, we don't want to weld because not everybody has access to a welder, one, or can weld. So with this car, we're going to be using a few different products. We're going to use this JB Weld steel stick to try and patch these holes. And this sets in about 5 minutes and it cures in about an hour. So we're going to try and, it's basically like an epoxy putty. We're going to knead it together, put it up here, put it on the bottom, up top, on the bottom, up top, on the bottom. And similar with right here, we're going to stick some in here and try and wait for it to hard. Steel stick, and basically the instructions are to break a piece off, start kneading it till it's all one color, go ahead and put it up top, on bottom, try and push it in and create that seal, and wait about 5 minutes, put another application if needed until you're satisfied, and then let it sit for an hour so it can totally harden. Once it's totally hardened, you can sand it, etc. Now, I would definitely wear some type of gloves when messing with this because, I mean, you don't really want it, A, on your hands, and 2, it might break out your skin or have some type of reaction. Each person's different. So anyways, let's go ahead and start this. You can see there's different colors, a little bit more of a charcoal and a gray, but just want to just keep kneading it around until you pretty much have it all one solid color. Does kind of have a smell to it, so if you are sensitive to smells, then you may want to wear a mask or a respirator when doing this if you have it. Kind of up to you. Alright, so it's all pretty much one solid kind of dark gray. It does kind of get a little bit warm. That's because it's, I guess, activating. All right, so we have put on the quick steel putty, and we used a couple different ones. We used quick seal, steel stick, and another one that they had up at the auto parts store. But it definitely doesn't look pretty right this minute, but it's definitely weight durable. Right there was like a rust hole, and it's solid. It's not moving. I mean, like I said, this is a DIY. If you had to do this in your garage, you don't have a welder, we use this epoxy. Don't really know how long it'll last. Typically a year or more, just depends on what it's being used on. That's what the directions said. But we're waiting for about an hour for it to cure. Then we're going to sand it down, prime it, and go ahead and put this stone textured paint down on it and go forward from there. We just wrapped up sanding the epoxy on our passenger side floor pan. We were able to get it smooth and pretty much ready to wax and grease remove it now and throw down our primer and then our paint. So we have let this cure for a couple of days. This does have a matte clear on it to try and harden it a little bit so that way it's kind of more water resistant. We've completed the firewall, trans tunnel, and floor pans with this stone textured paint with a matte clear over it. We did do a little bit of rust repair over here with some basically quick steel epoxy. And yeah, so now we're on to cutting and installing hopefully a fuel cell. If not, we're going to go to getting our coilovers. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Really appreciate it. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. Also, please turn on your post notifications, and we look forward to seeing you next video.